Hello and welcome to Verified Live. Health bosses in the UK say they're facing an unprecedented wave of flu, which is engulfing hospitals and what they call the worst case scenario for the health service. They've described the new mutated strain as a super flu, which is hitting people harder and lasting longer. In England, cases have jumped sharply. An average of more than 2,500 patients a day were hospitalised with flu last week, a record number for this time of year. Well, across Europe, flu cases are increasing unusually early, almost 3 to 4 weeks ahead of previous years. Well, our reporter Chloe Hayward has been given access to the Leicester Royal Infirmary over 48 hours to see the impact of the spike in cases and the pressures on the system.
Paige has diabetes. She also has flu, and now her blood sugars are dangerously high. But she's one of hundreds here today.
We can try to create some space to accommodate patients who are coming to recess when the recess is full. There are patients in every cubicle, a lot of activity happening. One ambulance has just rocked up. Ellie is the consultant here. So this patient, heart rate 190, has to be in here.
Yes.
This is the busiest emergency unit in the country.
We'll have a look.
Many more beds are needed than are available.
She's got some kind of respiratory virus. She was very tight chest when she came in.
Flu and winter viruses are hitting the unit hard.
This is the asthmatic chap who's on high flow oxygen.
And as more patients arrive,
Are you 4314?
others wait outside.
That bing is just because your heart is going at around 150, 160 beats a minute, so it is going pretty fast.
For 2 days, the BBC got exclusive access to the hospital.
He's getting intubated now.
Over 900 patients were seen each day.
Then we'll have 2 more beds and 12 I'll put on the CT.
We witnessed professionals coping in difficult conditions.
Yeah, okay.
And no, it's
Patients are quickly assessed and triaged away from the ambulance entrance or the front door. These prefabricated buildings are used to triage patients arriving by ambulance and are now a critical part of the hospital's infrastructure. The 14 beds are already full, but without this new facility, that would be 14 patients waiting outside in ambulances.
This is our high dependency area, and we've been really struggling for beds. So my coordinator here, Sarah, is trying to facilitate a patient to step out so that I can pull a patient out of resus into here, because there's a queue of patients needing to get into resus.
They've only got female beds, that's the problem.
And so they're trying to work on the sex mix of the beds to get them out.
It's the issue at the minute.
OK, we might have to breach that.
And over in the children's A&E, pressure is mounting too.
I've just seen a patient that just came up to the front desk who said she's been hit by a bus this afternoon. Thank you.
The last half an hour, there's been about 30 children who have all arrived. I think it is putting a lot of pressure on the system, and I think every year it seems to be increasingly busier.
Winter viruses are hitting young lungs hard. Zayn came in earlier. A stomach bug and a cold triggered his asthma.
And where is it that hurts in the middle of your chest?
Right here.
This is his second trip to hospital in 2 weeks.
It's going to be a late one, I think, tonight. Sorry. I think it's the end of term as well, isn't it? That they go out in the cold and run around, but then the rest of the time they're cooped up in one room, and so there's just a perfect mix for lots of different respiratory viruses.
Morning, Paige. Hello. Are you okay?
Before we leave the hospital, we check in with Paige again to see how she's doing.
Have they seen you on the ward round and things yet this morning?
They told me I need to eat or else I can't get my drips off because my diabetes is a bit up and down.
Right, okay.
Because I've got the flu, so...
Oh, okay. Just to add to it?
Yeah.
Bless you. How do you manage when you get flu and it gets into the winter?
I do struggle a lot. I was in here maybe 2-3 weeks ago. Infections and stuff just seem to really hit harder than normal.
For Paige and the staff working here, this could be a long winter. Chloe Hayward, BBC News, Leicester.
Well, our health editor Hugh Pym has been explaining why NHS managers are so worried about this new wave of flu cases.
I think the real worry is not so much the absolute number, although that's clearly putting pressure on hospitals as we've been hearing, that figure of 2,600 last week in hospital beds in England, but it's where it might go from here. The peak in terms of recent years with hospital bed numbers with flu is 5,400, so we're certainly short of that. But it's always expected in late December or January. The fact that it started rising so fast earlier than that is a worry because officials and health leaders don't know when it's going to peak or whether the peak could be higher than what we've seen in recently bad flu winters. And of course, all the pressures in the NHS with a whole range of respiratory conditions, including flu and other issues, they all build up in December and January. And early January is always incredibly tough for the health service. And the worry is just where are we going to be there at that stage? And of course, there's another worry for health leaders, and that is the proposed strike in England by resident doctors, members of the British Medical Association. That's planned to start for 5 days from next Wednesday, the 17th of December. And already health leaders have warned that that will really add to disruption, although the BMA argue that there are underlying problems in the NHS which have been there well before the action. But we don't know whether it's going to go ahead because a new offer's been put to the BMA. They, though, won't come back to us till Monday to say whether the strike is going ahead or not. So more uncertainty there.